The game never stops, and neither do we. Welcome to the SDH Network. We're always around the corner from everywhere, and it's time for another edition of the Morning Espresso, brought to you by Oglethorpe University, Atlanta's premier undergraduate learning experience and soccer powerhouse. Today's show starts with an interesting conversation going on in MLS. It could be flying under your radar a little bit, but that's what we do on the Espresso. Sometimes we get into the big news of the day. Sometimes it's the stuff under the surface that is maybe the most interesting, especially when we start talking about identity. Let's get into the Colorado Rapids. They are asking their fans right now directly a big question. Who are we? Really? Does our acknowledgement reflect that anymore? 2026 is a big year for soccer across the country. It's also a big year in the state of Colorado. It's the state's 150th birthday. It's the Rapids' 30th anniversary. Denver Summit FC are entering the NWSL Men's World Cup coming to North America. The club, the Colorado Rapids, currently, they believe that the timing is right to take a hard look at itself. What makes this stand out is that they are not really using the word rebrand. In fact, the club's gone out of its way to slow things down and remove any sense of inevitability about a rebrand. Under new Chief Business Officer Haley Dermer, Colorado has partnered with Monagle and Name and Number on a multi-year research project designed to understand the market, the fan base, and how the club is actually perceived. There's no mock-ups. There's no brand new crest waiting behind a curtain. There's no color palette that's being finalized. This is being framed as research first, decision second, if there is a decision to be made. So I can't really think of anything that I've seen that has been at least presented up front in this way. Dermer's been really clear that this process is going to be driven by surveys, by fan forums, by focus groups. If the supporters still embrace the crest, embrace the name, embrace the colors, then things will stay. If fans say that the identity doesn't resonate, then the club is open to evolving. Either way, it's going to come from the fans. It's going to come from the supporters, what direction the club takes at the end of this entire process. This is, I think, a smart way to do it. It's always smart to better understand your audience, for sure. It's always smart to be willing to evolve because, I think the old school ideas of teams and clubs never change things. We're kind of past that. Honestly, the Rapids have gone through some evolutions, especially with their color palette. They've been green, they've been black and blue, they've been the claret and sky blue that we've seen as of late. That's an area that I think some consistency and, honestly, I do like the claret and sky blue. I loved the green. I thought at the time that stood out. Now Portland has kind of taken green on for them as well, and maybe that's why you stay away from it. I don't know. The logo, we've seen different crests and logos that the Rapids have used over the years. It is a good time to look at it. I don't know what the way forward is. I'm not in Colorado, so I can't tell you. I do think just judging from friends of the SDH Network like Matt Pollard and things that he says on Burgundy Wave, others in the market, I do think there is a bit of a disconnect in who the Rapids are in Denver and in Colorado, how they're perceived in the greater sports landscape. I do think there is an opportunity here to better connect with the fan base. Ultimately, putting a better team on the field will be a big step in that process, and that's always going to be the number one element of any of this. But can they do things in terms of the brand identity? We're all going to find out together at the end. I'm just hoping that, even if he has to change his name, I'm just hoping that Rapid Man survives the whole thing. If you have not seen Rapid Man, Get on the Google machine and get into it. Rapid Man is one of the best mascots of anything ever. Let's come back to the domestic focus, and we'll start in the NWSL. We mentioned Denver Summit coming into the league this year. Got a lot of things happening right now on the NWSL front. Catarina Macario is at the center of the conversation. According to reports, ESPN, Jeff Kassouf leading the way. Multiple NWSL teams are interested in the Chelsea and U.S. women's national team forward. Her contract is up July 1st, so she's eligible to sign a pre-contract starting on January 1st. And it seems like it's plausible that she could come back to the NWSL or come to the NWSL for the first time, especially if the league adopts the proposed high-impact player rule. That would allow teams to spend up to $1 million above the salary cap on elite players, which Macario would fall into. It's designed to keep stars like Trinity Rodman in the league. However, the NWSL Players Association just wants to see $1 million added to the salary cap that teams can do whatever they want with. That's got to get resolved quickly. It's got to get resolved quickly in the sense of Trinity Rodman's future because she's out of contract starting January 1st, and it's got to get resolved quickly in the sense of chasing Catarina Macario, who will be in demand all over Europe, all over the world. You've got to compete a little bit better with European clubs. Catarina Macario is a perfect addition for the NWSL as they have lost players to Europe. Can they bring one back? She's healthy. She's producing. Emma Hayes has leaned on her as a false nine with the U.S. women's national team. After years of injury setbacks, it feels like she's healthy and consistent now. And it feels like her next move could be a game changer in the sport worldwide. We talked about Denver Summit. They got a massive green light yesterday. The city council approved rezoning and funding that clears the way for a 14,500 seat stadium at Santa Fe Yards. It's expected to open in 2028. They're going to play their first two seasons in a temporary home in Centennial, but the long-term future is now locked in. There are some ongoing concerns about rising construction costs, but they got that rezoning and funding sorted out, which is very big because they were starting to have to look outside of the city of Denver. Kansas City, they're doing what Kansas City does. They're going out and they're spending and they're investing. They signed 16-year-old defender Melia Brewer to a 3-year deal. Local product with U17 World Cup experience who enrolled early and logged college minutes at 16 at UCLA. It's a youth investment layered on top of their elite facilities. It's exactly how Kansas City has separated itself as a model club. She's the third college player to sign with the KC Current for the upcoming season. Forbes, they released new valuations this week with 8 NWSL teams among the 25 most valuable women's sports franchises in the world. Angel City leads the way, Kansas City right behind. Team-owned stadiums, blue-chip sponsors, long-term planning, clearly paying off in all situations around the NWSL. Let's go to MLS. In rumor land, keep an eye on Inter Miami, of course, as always. Reports out of Argentina and Spain suggest the club is exploring a move for Giovanni Lo Celso. He struggled for consistent minutes at Real Betis. You've got Lionel Messi there. They are friends from the Argentine national team. World Cup looming. Lo Celso would like to be part of Lionel Scaloni's title defense. He's got to play. He would play in Miami. Can they get it done? We'll see how creative they can get on the contracts and on the financials. Let's go to AFCON. Drama yesterday. That's what it always does. You've already got one game in the books this morning with DR Congo drama, winning 1-0. They had a second goal ruled out due to VAR. They had to sweat through 10 minutes of stoppage time, but they get it done. DR Congo with a 1-0 win this morning. We'll see them in the Interconfederation play-in tournament in March, trying to get a spot for Game 3 here in Atlanta to play Uzbekistan in a game that could decide who advances to the knockout rounds of the World Cup this summer. Yesterday, you had drama across all 3 games. Zambia's run, it continues to be one of the strangest in AFCON history. They won the tournament in 2012. They haven't won a single match at the competition since. But they also rarely lose. Against Mali, it looked like that drought would continue in painful fashion. Mali controlled the match. They took the lead. They sat back. Then Patson Daka scored a spectacular diving header 2 minutes into stoppage time. That rescues the point for Zambia. 8 draws and 2 losses since they won the tournament in 2012. But then Daka's celebration nearly overshadowed all of it. He went for a flip and landed awkwardly on his neck. I'm laughing because he's okay. He's able to walk it off. He's not going to miss any time. But it was a scary moment. But that equalizer kind of makes you get locked in for what AFCON can be. The next two games yesterday brought all the drama. South Africa, they came back. They scored first against Angola. They got leveled up, and then Lyle Foster's late strike sealed it. They come back to restore their lead. Big win for South Africa over Angola. Egypt, they needed even more drama. They fell behind Zimbabwe, threw everything forward, took 35 shots, 11 on target. Omar Marmoush leveled it. He won 7 dribbling duels, 1v1. And then Mo Salah, he delivered in stoppage time. That goal makes him the first Egyptian player to score in 5 different AFCON editions. 4 more matches today. As I mentioned, DR Congo has already got things started with a win. You can watch all of it on BN Sports. If you don't have BN in your current cable or satellite or streaming packages, you can get it with our friends at Fnatis, fntz.co/soccer down here to get signed up. Let's go to Madrid. There's always a telenovela in Madrid. It feels like this one is at least taking a holiday break, but stay tuned. Xabi Alonso will eat his turrón for Christmas. It's a phrase, a Spanish phrase that I need to get more familiar with, I think, because I'd not heard it before. Madrid's not going to make a change, so he will stay in the job during the break. 3 wins last week, bought him time. It was said that he needed to win all 3. He did. The performances haven't been great, but they got the results, and Madrid is a results-focused club. What's convinced the club, at least for now, is a visible shift in player commitment. The intensity in training is up. The buy-in appears improved. Leadership believes that the players are responding to Xabi Alonso. Pressure hasn't disappeared, and it gets difficult after the break. They'll play Real Betis, and they'll play Atleti in the Supercopa, which could be a big moment for Xabi Alonso and his potential future in Madrid. Then there's Vinny. Contract talks totally stalled with Vinicius Jr. Relationship with the fans has cooled as well. He was whistled over the weekend. First time that we've seen supporters really start to question if he's their long-term guy, and you're seeing vice versa. He is questioning if he wants to stay in Madrid beyond just chasing the money in a contract to put him on level terms with Kylian Mbappe. They're not going to talk contract until the summer when he will be going into the last year of his deal. I think he is probably banking on a good World Cup. If that happens, I don't know what direction this goes. If that doesn't happen, I don't see him doing a new deal, and I would see Madrid trying to make a sale over the summer, but who would buy? I'm not convinced that the valuation that Vinny and his camp have for himself matches up with the quality and maybe with some of the headaches that you get and some of the lack of defensive work that you get. I don't know if he's that guy, and he's going to ask for the money like that guy. That's going to be a tough one to sort out. I don't know where that all ends up. I think the second half of the year and the World Cup are critical for defining who Vinicius Jr. is. So that's where we are. You got a club in Colorado that is asking fans who they want to be. You've got a domestic league in the NWSL that is accelerating structurally, accelerating financially, accelerating in stature. AFCON is a wonderful tournament. Spend some time with it today. Got 3 more games the rest of the day. A lot of drama. The pressure, and the favorites are getting through it, but they're having to sweat in all cases right now. You haven't seen any dominant performances as of yet. Morocco is probably the closest to that in the opener, playing at home. And in Europe, look, there's always pressure simmering beneath the surface. Make sure you are subscribed to the Morning Espresso newsletter. You can get that by going to soccerdownhere.net/connect. That'll get you on the email list, SDHAM, all week except for Thursday with John Nelson. You've got Nino Torres joining on Friday. You got Nico Moreno joining tomorrow to chat. No Atlanta soccer tonight. This evening, it's preempted due to college football. I'll be back in the morning on 92.9 from 6 to 9 a.m. hosting alongside Greg Clarkson and Noel White. We'll be talking all Atlanta sports, but, I'm going to be working the chaotic soccer moments into the show. That's always a good time with Greg and Noel. So 6 to 9 on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app to start your Christmas Eve. I will have a morning espresso for you tomorrow, recapping today's action in AFCON and any other news and rumors that pop up. A couple other things just to end with. Alexander Isak, broken leg. He's going to be out for an extended period of time. That's going to make things difficult for Liverpool. Nicholas Füllkrug looks like he is leaving West Ham to go to Milan with Santiago Jimenez's injury. And Füllkrug not really connecting at West Ham. They've given the permission for him to go and check that out. And the other one that jumped out to me this morning was, according to reports in Spain, PSG is considering some form of a lifetime contract for Luis Enrique. Long-term, no doubt. Lifetime contract, I don't know. They've got the money to do it, and he's the kind of coach to do that with. But we'll see how all of that works out. I'm intrigued, to say the least. I'm a big fan of Luis Enrique's work, so I'll be watching that one up close. Thanks for spending some time with me on today's Morning Espresso. You can go back and listen to last night's soccer over there as well on the network. It is on demand. The game never stops. Neither do we. We always got your soccer talk for you. Thanks for being part of it. Happy holidays, and I'll be talking to you tomorrow morning.